Well, Latin America analyst Robert Valencia joins me from New York. He's also the former deputy global editor of Newsweek. Good to have you with us on the programme, sir. While perhaps the economy is the top issue for the electorate, will this election be one also on the personality of those candidates that are running, especially when they are so diverse in their approach and their appeal to the public?
Absolutely. I think the figure of Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner is still in. I think tomorrow, or the election that we will be seeing this weekend, will be, unfortunately, to the detriment of many people, it will be based on the economy. As we've heard, high unemployment hovering around 10%. Argentina is prognosticated to have the third highest inflation in the world, behind Venezuela and Zimbabwe. The economy outlook is really bleak for Argentina, and apparently Argentinians will have to choose between the lesser of both evils. And in this case, apparently Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner and her running mate are likely to win the elections this weekend.
That aside, is it fair then to say that President Macri, who was apparently the business-friendly face when he came into power, did promise much and failed, but that was because not of his own policies, but also the policies of previous governments and the mess that they left? So it's always been an uphill struggle, and would have been for any president that came into power after Cristina Kirchner.
That is absolutely right. I think the problem here is that Macri overpromised too much in 2015. He promised to bring down poverty down to zero. He promised that he was going to ease the control over money exchange and that he will stem capital flight. But many of these things did not happen. And when he opened the market to the other international markets per se, the Argentine peso, as we've heard, increasingly devaluated against the U.S. dollar. Forced Macri to get a loan from the International Monetary Fund, an organization that brings bad memories for many Argentinians who have seen this type of crisis since the early 2000s. So it's not fair to blame it on Macri because, as you pointed out, these are policies that occurred in the past. But the problem is that he did not deliver what he promised early when he launched his presidential, bid for Argentina.
Indeed, we're having a little breakup with the connection, but just briefly, how do you see the relationship between Cristina Kirchner and Alberto Fernandez? Some have suggested that he'll just be a puppet president if they do win the election, and Cristina will be the one pulling the strings. I mean, that's all hypothetical. The vote hasn't happened yet, but what's your impression?
Well, that seems to be the case. I mean, she is the living figure of Kirchnerism. Let's remember that before her, we had Nestor Kirchner, who was a very prominent figure in Argentinian politics. What's interesting is that we see this vicious cycle because while Macri inherited this mess of an economy that the country is dealing with, now they're saying that this is an inheritance of Macri's bad policies, and that's a quote from them. So Argentinians will now face a difficult figure independently of who wins these elections this weekend.
It will be interesting to see who does win, and we look forward to welcoming you back for more analysis. Robert Valencia, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.